At least it didn't come in pink.
Yeah, Eric talking about the shirt not being pink, and I was like, I thought, of writing. I would exchange it, but I don't think this one's gonna fit your, manly size.
Oh, I'm so happy. So the sign made it okay? Like it's intact and everything?
Yes, it's intact. But I'm gonna go back. Oh, you had trouble sending it. I had trouble getting it out.
Oh my
I
God.
was there for 1 hour
Oh no.
because when I got when like, oh, it hasn't come downstairs, so you have to go upstairs because it just arrived and they haven't processed it. So I go there, and then when I get there, it's like, this one says Andie, and your ID says Andrea. So is this you?
Oh no! Oh,
Oh, oh my gosh. I would never have thought of that.
You get it. Well, you have to go to the legal services.
oh no!
Oh yeah. And then the legal services office is like across the street on building 1. And I'm with the 2 girls and my dad. I was glad my dad was there. What, sweetie? Yes, it's my new shirt. You want to go? Come. Okay, hold on. Mickey wants to see. So I say to my dad, I'll be right back. I leave the girls, one with the phone, one with the iPad, and I start running like crazy. The stoplight, thank goodness, was on my side. So it just flipped and I kept on going like zoom and then zoom and I get to the office and the lawyer has to draw a paper with all my information saying that yes, this is me and that's the person who's supposed to get the package. They charged me like a dollar for like the legal fees.
Oh my
and I'm
gosh.
like, whatever.
That
And
sign
then
is cursed.
when I take out my wallet, it was like 12 quetzales. It's like $1. So when I take out my wallet, I have like $6. And please, 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 I'm begging you. I'm sorry, I can't. And I was like, my dad, he always has change. So I have to run back to the other side of the building, ask my dad for the change, and then come back. And then they give me all the paperwork and blah, blah, blah. And then I go back to the office and I sit and they have me waiting. And the girl's like, she asked like a lot of stupid questions. But at the end, she said, you have to pay a fee. And I'm like, but it's artwork. And I don't think I have to pay. No, you have to pay a fee. So then when I get home, my husband says, you're not supposed to pay any fees if it's a gift for one. And then if it's artwork. And I'm like, so I'm going to go back tomorrow and I'm going to ask them, why? And have them send me my money back.
I'm sorry. So we tried sending it as a gift, but like,
yeah,
I marked on their gift. I had this whole custom because I had to fill out 4 different custom forms because they're like, oh, wrong one. Oh, wrong one. I was like, oh my gosh, pick your form. So like, so I remember they're like, well, it won't go in as a gift, like only commercial merchandise. I was like, well, it's not commercial merchandise. So you're gonna have to figure this out. So I swear it was marked as a gift because then they had a manager and the manager was like, well, let's just take it all the way through. And then she took it all the way through and then it worked as a gift. So I'm confident we marked it as a gift.
Yeah. But the lady said, look, they priced it like a certain amount of money. So I'm going to have to charge you 40% of that amount. And I'm like,
oh, I priced it at like $100, didn't I? Oh my gosh, Andie, that is a nightmare.
Well, I was tired by then after running back and forth. Oh, and of course, my 4-year-old afterward goes, when I get back with the form, Ma, I got to go to the potty. So I start looking for a bathroom there in the post office. And I say, oh, today the people in charge of the bathroom, of opening the bathrooms is not here. So we don't have bathrooms.
Oh my God.
What the heck?
Oh my
Okay.
You don't have a freaking bathroom?
Oh my gosh, Andie, that sign is cursed. I blame Garrett.
No.
So, okay. All right. So I am just really curious. I am curious on how much this effing sign is worth. I'm gonna sleep with it tonight.
Because I think I paid
it's
like
priceless,
$80 or
Garrett.
$90 to send it.
It's priceless, Garrett.
Yeah.
It's priceless.
So you spent that. I spent like 40 to get it to you. Plus the board is like $15. I don't count any of the other stuff. that goes in with making it.
Oh,
So
and then she paid at least 40 for it too.
I'm just saying that sign is definitely not worth that.
Andie, I'm so
For
sorry.
me,
Look,
it
no,
is.
the sign just wanted to be remembered, wanted to make a
Wanted to
statement,
be part of
and
an
now that's it. It made an epic story, an epic adventure.
A couple epic stories.
Oh, Andie, I am so sorry.
Oh, but I was happy about it because
Oh.
it was so much fun, you know. Oh, and then
That
I,
sounds
of
like a
course, when
lot of
I
fun.
left Michaela with my dad to go to the bathroom with Gabby, she started running after me, and my dad pulled her, and she was like, "Wah!" She was crying all over the house. I was like, I hope your ears sting, lady, because this is your fault, because you kept me here and blah blah blah. So tomorrow I'm gonna go back for the tour, and I am gonna ask, you know, to speak with someone and see if they refund my money, because it's supposed to be, you know, artesanías. I don't know how you say that in English, like artwork.
Mhm.
So yeah, but it was fun. It was a fun day.
It's like today is just bad juju day. I had like one of those days too where I was like, what is going on in the world today? It is a psycho. Did anyone
Yep.
else have a psycho day?
Yep. Oh yeah.
I
Like,
had
where's
good
the
news
moon?
and
Where's
then
the
I
bad
moon?
news.
slept through it. I just slept through the whole thing, so it's all right for me.
That's what we needed to do.
Andy, aren't you, or
Not
Lila,
wireless.
aren't
I'm
you a
with
day
you,
ahead?
girlfriend.
Yeah,
Aren't you
I
a
am.
day ahead? So what
I
happened
am,
yesterday
I
to
am.
you?
Yeah, what was
Oh,
going
it
on
was
today?
a great. You don't want to hear about my day. My day was fabulous.
Well, like I had good news and then bad news. I mean, the sign came, it was there. They didn't take that long getting it out, but then they charged me. And then as I'm leaving the office, my phone rings because a friend of mine sent me the phone of a lady that changes the dates for the interviews.
Hmm.
And I was like, 300 quetzales, it's like $30 for my interview to change it and get it like 8 months ahead. I'm like, yeah. And so I write, thank you so much. I pay her. And then she says, you only paid half. And I'm like, what do you mean I only paid half? It's $350 for each appointment. And I'm like, well, you made one appointment for 2 people. So it's one appointment. Why are you charging me for 2 appointments? It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't clear. I was like, yeah, you were not clear. So I'm debating whether I should pay her or not. But I'm going to get my appointment in 1 month. That means travel for Christmas to the States to see my sisters.
Oh.
That's so fun. Where they're in Texas, right?
One's in Texas, the other one's in Florida, looking to move to Virginia, like up north.
Fun. That is so fun. I hope that you can make it work so that you can go see your sisters at Christmas.
Yeah, I hope the one that lives in Florida is already living up north, because I am dying to go to a snowy place for Christmas.
Just come to mine.
say.
Kim and I can help you out.
Have you ever? We've started seeing Frozen. Frozen is the movie for these past 2 weeks. So she's like, Mommy, can we go somewhere where it snows? I want to build a snowman. And I'm like, are you going to start me? And she's like, do you want to build a snowman?
Keep it where we know where it is.
Yeah, it's a little different in real life than in
Yeah.
Frozen.
No, I know. But she's so excited about it. And she's doing sand angels in the dirt. And I'm like, yeah, you'll get to do snow angels someday. Don't worry about it.
That is awesome. Well, I have to ask, hey, Debbie, I was just gonna say, I thought I saw your shirt. Your shirt came.
Oh yeah.
I got Ghana.
Oh, I love it. It looks so
Woo!
wonderful.
What does it say?
This is
Ghana. That's what my grandkids call me because they couldn't say grandma. So
Oh,
they started calling me Ghana. So that's what I am.
That's awesome.
I love it.
I have to say that Diane, I think your shirt might be my hands down favorite.
Oh goody.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
goody.
So my mom took pictures, but she's currently watching my children, so she hasn't sent them to me, so I haven't. I'm already asking enough of her. But I wanted to post it because it's amazing. So Diane did Leadham wood, but we did a variegated green thread and a variegated brown thread. It looks
Ooh.
so cool.
Oh,
My
yeah.
aunts were
Yes,
like,
I
my
saw
favorite.
it. It's awesome. I saw
Oh,
it.
yay.
Yeah, Carol
You
saw
guys
it.
And you're gonna
think
love
that
it.
is
You are going to
cute.
love
How'd you
it.
see it already?
They were on Friday.
Oh,
were there
dang, and she
Friday.
got,
Oh,
she
I
got the
missed that
sneak
part
peek.
on Friday.
Oh,
You did,
Oh,
Tim.
well,
That
that's
was at
what
the
happens
beginning,
if I
girlfriend.
sleep. Oh my God.
See, you were just sleep through. Lila, the one time you decide not to get up, and oh man, we have a hell of a good time. Whoops, excuse me, heck of a good time.
I missed you all so much.
We got 2 sneak peeks.
Yeah, I'm bummed out. I had to work.
Lita,
Timmy missed the
Oh,
first half.
was it Lita and
oh well,
Lita and the War of the Gold.
that's
Yep.
it. That's it. No more
Oh, you're cutting out, Lila.
sleep. I have to be every Friday. I just said no more sleep for me. Looks like it.
Well, I plan to read the same sneak peeks again tonight for people that missed it.
Yay.
So no worries. And I didn't record Friday, so I was gonna record. I'm recording tonight so that there's a lot of people that were not very happy with me. But I did 2 sneak peeks and did not record. So I was like,
You lose. What can we say? We were up. We were watching.
Yay.
well, I can't like punish Diane for being at work.
No, I know. I understand
Yeah.
that.
That was
So we'll
sad.
be-
And Lila didn't sleep.
And because you didn't record it, it makes me wonder what you guys really got up to.
Lila,
We'll
we
never
definitely
know.
talked about
We're not
you.
We are sworn to secrecy. That's all I'm going to
Yeah.
say. We are sworn to secrecy.
Oh,
We'll
no.
never know.
Oh,
Oh God.
Oh, just kidding.
Terry, is your household back to normal?
mine? Yeah,
Yeah.
more. Yeah, and guess what?
What's that?
Their parents signed them up for another volleyball camp down where one of the daughters lives. So tomorrow, right now, the reason why I can't start my puzzle is because my wife is cutting quilt squares so that they can sew them tomorrow and Tuesday and Wednesday when they get home from the volleyball camp.
Gotcha.
So I get to be by myself for the next 2 days, which is fine, but
I was like, well, that sounds nice.
Recoup, rejuvenate.
Oh, that sounds fun. Did you have grandkids over, Terry?
we had 2 12-year-olds and 2 8-year-olds
Ooh,
for
busy.
volleyball camp, and then they'd come home for that about 2 or 3 in the afternoon and sew until dinner time. They were sewing
wow.
clothes.
Wow.
And they're all basically like Lila.
Bright and bubbly and happy.
Oh yeah. It's just that
A handful?
Handful.
Well,
Happy Grandparents Day. Yesterday was Grandparents Day here. So to all you
Parents' Day
grandparents,
here.
Aw.
Gammies and grandpas, happy Grandparents Day.
Yeah, see,
Thank
here-
you.
here was-
Are
Thanks,
definitely
Ann.
a blessing
Parents'
in
Day.
each- I am pretty sure of that.
what did you say,
Yeah.
Debbie?
Well,
and
happy
here
Parents
is Parents
Day.
Day.
Yep, it was
because
Parents Day
Our
today.
Grandparents' Day is
Oh.
in September.
Oh,
It's Parents' Day today?
Yep. Happy
Yesterday
Parents
was
Day,
Parents'
everybody.
you didn't get anything?
Oh, I did.
I
I
guess.
sure did. I got a dog full of skunk. That's what I got.
Oh,
Happy damn Parents' Day to me. Oh my gosh, I was so mad. I was swearing my way home from my hike at the top of my lungs. I woke my husband up. So mad. I was 5 minutes into a hike and I hear my dog yelp and I was like, oh no. And I look up and this black butt is walking across the trail and I was like, no!
Oh no.
Motor took it right in the face. Third time.
Oh,
Oh,
Third time that dog has been
no.
sprayed by a skunk.
Oh, man.
Morning, Loader! I was like yelling,
Oh,
get home right now! So
Oh.
it was so bad. As we walked by our RV where my husband sleeps when he works night shifts, because he's just gone to bed, it was so bad. It woke him up from sleeping. And he came out looking for the skunk and heard me swearing as I was scrubbing my dog with that stupid
man.
mixture that works for the most part. Anyway, that was my happy Parents' Day.
You didn't have it? No, that was not good.
So I'm like, oh, I got shafted on this Parents' Day. Anyway.
You need a redo.
Yeah, well, so my kids are gone, right? So I was like, oh, there's so much awesome stuff I'm gonna get done. This is gonna be so great. And everything, it's like the universe heard. It was like, that's right, Katie. That's what we're gonna give you. So it started with the skunk and it ended with a lady at the post office. What is it about the post office that hates me? But I literally walked into the post office because I got all of the stickers mailed. So I had like 200 plus envelopes, right?
Oh, no.
I didn't have enough stamps. So I was still like, I was like, I need 2 rolls of stamps, and I had already stamped some. So you guys are gonna love the story. So I walk in and I have this armful of books, and some of them are international, so I have to fill out customs forms. So this like mom and her daughter come in behind me, and I turn around and I'm like, I haven't started yet. Do you want to go ahead of me? Because it takes a while to do these books. And the lady was super nice. She had like big curly hair, and it was like streaked with gray and white. She was beautiful. She's like in a summer dress, and I was like, wow, she's like a beautiful woman. And she had her daughter with her. She's like, we're fine. I was like, no, like it takes a while. Like I do this a lot. And she's like, really? And the lady behind the counter who helped me mail Andie's and was like, totally like, this package is cursed. She's like, I don't think you understand how long this woman takes. So I was like, all right. Like, we don't need to get rude, okay? I smell like skunk. It's hot. I haven't been writing at all today. I was like not in the mood to put up with her, but I said to the lady, I was like, really, why don't you come up? So the lady at the post office gets me a roll of stamps, and I'm like standing there just like stamping all these envelopes because I have like 200 still left. So this lady and her daughter are like talking, and it takes them forever to figure out an address. So they're there like 10 or 15 minutes, and I'm still stamping all these stupid envelopes. So I finally have this whole pile of envelopes that are ready to go. And the lady behind the counter is trying to do it. This woman's next to me, and she goes, what is all of this for? And I was like, oh, I'm an author, and these are for my readers. And she was like, oh, you must have a lot of readers. And I was like, I have the coolest readers. And when I launch a book, I send them books or stickers. So I'm like still stamping. I'm not really looking at her. Like I'm still stamping, and I just want to get out of there because I knew that this lady in the post office was gonna like hate me because she hates me every time I go in. So I was trying to get out of there. So finally this lady and her daughter leave, and the woman behind the counter goes, do you know who that was? And I was like, no, I don't know who that was. Who was that? She goes, that's Andie MacDowell.
No. No. I love her.
For those of you that don't know who Andie MacDowell is, it's her.
I love her. Oh, MG.
Right, but
her.
I am almost totally ignoring her. Like she's like talking to me, and I'm like, I have the coolest readers. I'm like stamping. I looked at her enough that I was like, Andie MacDowell, that sounds familiar. She goes, she's like this huge actress, and you were ignoring her. The lady at the post office is like getting mad at me. So I was like, I'm just trying to get these stupid letters mailed. So the woman's like, oh, we've got international. So she's like all annoyed that she has to process these international books. And I almost
job.
yeah. Started on this
Good
woman.
job.
So then I look up Andie MacDowell and I see her picture and I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God.
I love her.
Oh my God. So, and she was so nice to me. Like she was trying to chat up and I was like, oh, I totally botched that one. And she was even
does
like,
she live in Montana?
She does. So she
Wow.
lives actually just down the road from me. I then found out because I was like, does she live here? And the lady like rolled her eyes like I'm the dumbest person on the planet. And she's like, yeah. So when I look on Google and I type in Andie MacDowell, Montana comes up.
Oh my God.
She put her arms in the air.
Look at the
Hopefully
dog.
she doesn't have a little friend.
My husband, he forgot something. Anyway, So anyway, so she has a 3,000 acre ranch, like just down the canyon from me. So I was like, no crap. So then there's like 6 people backing up behind us because this lady's taking so long getting mad at me that she's not inputting the international books. So it's taking forever. So there's literally a line out the door and then into the lobby of like the post office. So I'm getting stressed and I've like have my card and I have all of the letters and I'm like, can we just go? So then she looks up, she's like, I'm so sorry it's taking so long. It takes a long time when they do international. And so I was like, and then there's this awkward silence and one lady's like, it's fine. But obviously it wasn't. You could tell her being pissed. And I was like, I'm not making contact with anyone. I don't care if Tom Hanks is back there. I'm just not looking at anyone. I'm like, oh my gosh, just take the letters. So then she finally like finishes and then the lady behind the counter looks at me and she goes, man, I hate it when you come in. I'm so glad to see you go. Oh, imagine.
What a wench.
And then I was like,
He needs another job.
And
I just gave you
no
like
one-
$300. Like what? So I could not believe it. Then she goes, does Cody feel this way about you? And Cody is my friend, like the guy that I've made friends with. I was like, no, he likes me. I gave him free books. And I like grabbed my stuff and I just left.
Good for you. Oh my gosh. I can't believe she said that.
Oh, I've got to come and sort this woman out. I tell you.
We're coming.
I think you should
for
write
her.
comic books. Can write comedies about the post office.
So that,
Well, I
like,
just send a little scathing thing to the post office.
I was so she's the
They
manager.
should have asked, they should
That's
have
the
asked me
problem.
for my
I'd be
opinion.
finding your supervisor's number.
And she is a supervisor. Like, because I know I
He's a
go there enough.
supervisor.
I go there enough that I know she's like, I don't work the front that much. That's Cody and their job. It just takes me longer to do it. So I know that they're always calling her to ask questions. And she like rotates between post offices because she's told me this in the past because I've met her so many times. She was so rude today. And I think it was because I totally like wasn't paying attention to Andie MacDowell. And she said to me, she's like, I was going to say something, but I really didn't feel it
Just
was
a
my point.
person. She's just a person, and her job happens to be an actor. Like,
No, and
she's
she
still
was
just a
nice. It wasn't like you offended her.
So nice. But I think it's because I literally was like, I just want to get these letters done. So it's so many, right? It's taken me like weeks to get this together. So I'm like just stamping, and I'm like putting them in a pile, stamp, put them in a pile. So I'm just doing this, and I'm like, yeah, thank you, my readers are the best. They're so fun, and I'm still answering her questions. And then I was like, well, crap. Anyway,
You can always hand deliver a book.
She would have seen you were busy.
Yeah, you could take her a book down the street.
well, she even told me, she goes, do you like sell them through the store? And I was like, I actually have my own website. It's KatieCrossBooks.com, but I sell them everywhere. And I was like, they're
Oh,
fantasy.
she might look you up.
Wouldn't that be funny?
That would be awesome.
That would be so funny. And then I could be like, oh my gosh, wasn't that post office lady the worst? So anyway, that was my day. That was my day. That was just part of my day. It was even worse because my dog smells like skunk, right? And I had to go to the vet. And so they're like this crazy vet. They're like, you have to call, you can't come in the lobby. And then there's like all these rules. And I was like, oh my gosh, like they're dogs. Like, can I just bring them in? And so I have to stand outside in the heat because anyway. So I finally get in there and I was like, I'm so sorry. My dog smells like skunk. I've like done as many treatments as I can, but at this point it's just what it is. I can't do anything else. And she's like, it's fine. And she like walks in with a candle and like they're like putting me in like the farthest room and making sure like no one's in the lobby because my dog smells like sulfur. And oh my gosh, it was just out of control. And then anyway, it was just like one of those days where everything went wrong. And I met Andie MacDowell and she was interested in me and I botched it. Anyway. So there's the day. Anyone else have great stories about today?
I went
Not
to school supply shopping.
Wow,
I don't think that's the top. I have an emergency room story about a down in California with a actor that thought he was bigger than he should have been.
Who's that? Was it John Wayne?
No, it's an old. Now my mind just totally went blank. He was a Western player, and it was like in the 50s. And he'd been through like 3 different wives, and he had this last one. He'd finally, evidently, cleaned his act up because he'd been an alcoholic, and he had a little 10-year-old boy who was his son, and he did a really nice bend in his forearm, falling on something, and you'd think that he was the president of the United States because he was demanding us to make sure that, is this the best place to have this surgery? Do I need to have surgery? And, it was just a simple fix. But yeah, it was like Scott Brady. That was the guy's name.
Scott Brady. I'll have to look that one up.
My husband probably knows him. We watch those old westerns.
And
spaghetti westerns.
No, I put my foot down about those.
I have my standards.
Anyway, yeah, that was kind of the only. Most of the actors. James Garner was really nice when I met him down there.
Oh, my heart! I would have loved to meet him.
I would have too.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
I lived next door to Gary Sinise's parents. So
wow!
Oh my God! Right next door to me, they were the nicest people ever. And every now and then, like a limo would come in the middle of the night. Like, I never met him, but I met his parents all the time. They're really nice. Anyway,
when I worked in.
Oh, go ahead, Layla, and then Terry.
I was just going to say, when I worked in theatre, they were lovely, lovely actors, and they were all just so down to earth and, yeah, really beautiful people.
Yeah, I just looked up Scott Brady. He was kind of a poop in the movies. He did. He kind of played the heavy all the time.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe.
And he was still heavy in real life.
it rubbed off on him.
See how that works.
It wasn't really acting.
Was there something else you wanted to add to that, Terry?
Well, I was going to say the only other guy, Chad Everett. Do you remember him?
Yep.
Medical
emergency.
Something I can't remember. He was.
Yeah, he was a doctor.
He was a doctor. An emergency.
Northridge Mall.
Medical center.
Yeah, medical center. The Northridge Mall was just up the street from our hospital, and I was getting Christmas present for my wife, and it's a 2-story mall, and I just happened to be going down the stairs, and he zipped past me, like, don't recognize me because I'm going so fast. And I saw who he was, and I just stopped halfway down the stairs and just kind of watched him, and just to see what kind of recognition if other people saw him. And he stopped into 2 different stores in the space of maybe 2.5, 3 minutes, got something in both stores, and I mean he was just zoom zoom zoom. And then funny thing is, I'm in a hardware store about 2 months later, and here he comes in the hardware store, and he's a totally different guy. There's not anybody, he cared less if anybody recognized him then. But,
interesting.
He just walked in, and it was kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Garrett was you gonna say something earlier?
Garrett?
Yeah, so he normally has to unmute or find his phone.
There he is.
Usually find my phone.
Yeah.
Usually find my phone because I walk around with that in my ear. No, I was just gonna say, so thanks to Carol.
Oh,
thank you, Carol. She is going to be finishing the boards, so I am getting ready to ship it off to her this week. So she's gonna get these boards finished up.
That's amazing.
And
what's the one at the top on the right, on the left side?
This is her payment.
Oh, sorry, Terry.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Girl.
That's a nice payment. That's a nice payment.
Oh, very smart.
But here's the deal, is that I get out of having to paint the damn things.
Okay, so wait, so that Jade can understand what we're looking at. So we have 4 of your wooden tiles. One says Derek on top and black underneath, and there's like a shield with the sword, right? For Derek.
And Ludius.
Yep, there's Derek Black as one, and then the Coffee with Katie with another. So it has a coffee cup and a dragon. It says Coffee with Katie. That one's mine. And then there's a really awesome dragon that says Ludius in dragon letters across the middle that Carol has sneakily managed to win by offering to stain all the others. You go, girl. And then the fourth one says Team Baxter with a dragon, and that is for Jean Marie, who couldn't make it tonight. That'll be awesome.
The Derek Black one is mine.
Yep.
I think we need to give that one away with the Regina launch because it's just...
Oh no. That one actually is for Debbie. She got a hold of it.
I ordered that special.
Debbie's like, excuse me.
Yeah.
She's like,
It's on that design. That's mine.
As my daughter would say, no. That is awesome, Garrett. You're like the woodmaker of Alcara.
Well,
He's like, I like it as long as I don't have to stain them.
Right, exactly.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
And then Jay.
That's right. Dan is still.
Here we are.
Hello.
There we go. I unmuted.
Your pictures have been so fun. I've been actually
they
checking
are.
your profile on Facebook to see what you two are up to, and I never do that. So that's really cool.
We still have like a lot of photos.
Let's see some updates, sister. It's been really fun. It's been really awesome.
Carol blindsided me.
What? Who
I didn't mean
blindsided
to,
you?
honest. I didn't mean to. Just Garrett just said, just keep this one. I said, oh, dang.
Yes, I will.
I wanted to see that. I was looking forward to the arm wrestle.
I would like to see an arm wrestle too.
Well, actually, Terry came up with he came up with the perfect solution. He just thought Katie should flip a coin for us.
I think Garrett should just make two.
All right, so here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Oh.
What is it? What the hell do I have out in my garage right now? I've got 6 boards. I've got 6 boards right now that I'm trying to make for Robert for Dragon Con. So when I get done with those.
Robert who?
Robert Ross.
Oh.
Cool.
Oh, that was that romance.
Dragon Con. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So he's gonna give them away at Dragon Con. But when I get done with his, then I will make another Ludius one. I got to get some more boards ordered though too.
You'll have to show us those, Garrett.
Yeah. When I get them done, I got a little bit of work done on them yesterday, but it's just with the new job, it's getting harder to get out to the garage.
But they're awesome. I kind of had a sneak peek. They're awesome.
Oh, fantastic.
They are. They're very good.
You're so talented, Garrett. I think you should start charging for him if you aren't already.
I've been trying, but he won't let me.
Guys, that's his
start
passion,
mailing him money.
that's
I have his
fun.
address. His address. If people want to know him. Also, Garrett, I sent bonbons and I'm Girl Power to your wife today. So if there's a box that has my sticker and your wife's name, that's intentional.
So I'm just throwing it out there. I told my wife about this, and I told her that it was BS because she's gonna have autographed books from you, and I don't.
I don't think I have any either.
What's wrong with you? I'm just kidding. Really? I haven't sent you guys autographed books yet.
I bought some more, so
bonbons.
I just bought some over the
I got
weekend.
bonbons. Well, and I got another one too. I got Miss Mabel.
Bonbons.
I got Miss Mabel's.
Say I miss Maples and bonbons.
I'll have to fix that. Taking notes. Taking notes.
And we decided my map has jumped into a dinghy and is rowing over from America to here
Is it
because
still
my
not
map's
there?
still not here.
That's what I told you to
no.
throw those
Louise
mermaids
got
in
hers.
the chum.
Prana took it.
I got mine, but
Prana got it.
Yeah.
We got hers in like 3 days. I was like, what? How did you get it that fast? And we just decided it was transported.
Got here.
Lila, when you put that up there the first time, I thought I was going to fall off of my couch laughing because I about died. It was like, okay, in a dinghy, there we go.
Well, I said, throw the mermaids some chum and they'll get there faster.
Debbie's not wrong. This is on you, Lila.
I know. I better go out there and after the call and throw it out there.
Oh, you're taking pictures in the morning. You can do it.
I'll look and see if I have the receipt so we can look at a tracking, but I don't know if I do. I've been trying to keep all of my receipts from the post office because they love me so much there. They're like this long.
They all love you.
You know, I thought you were gonna put the Derek stickers in the box with the sign.
I didn't have
and
them.
I kept looking. Yeah, but I kept looking, and I found a paper with some interesting writings. I don't think you were meant to send that paper.
Yeah, she said,
Was it the War of the Gods, Andy?
Yes,
was it?
That's
Was
why
it?
I think she wasn't supposed to.
Oh
send
no!
that paper.
Was it?
Oh wait, no. Is it like big paper that's all like crinkled up?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. I have I have butcher paper that I like write ideas and stuff out on, and then I just when I'm done with it, I just put it either to go to the fire or I use it as stuffing.
Yeah, but does she have some of your ideas in there?
Yeah, but I don't think those ideas ever panned out. That's why.
Yeah, I'm not gonna post them anyway because it would be a breach of confidence. Confidentiality.
Well, at least you got notes and not diapers.
Diaper. I was gonna say. I can't please any of you. I do diapers.
Well, I'm happy with what I got. I'm happy with what I got.
Yeah, no, that was intentional. I don't think any of those ideas panned out. And there shouldn't be any big spoilers on those anyway, because that's just,
No, they were like a lot of question marks.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So
my process. Well, I actually have a big announcement to make tonight. So, and then we have to do the sneak peeks. So I've been perfecting and honing the rest of the year. So surprise, there's another book that we weren't expecting. So this was originally Lila. She's so smug. She knows what I'm gonna say.
Oh no.
So originally I was expecting to just have this as a surprise, but as the story has developed, Baxter has really gotten in my way, and that's not gonna happen. So this is all Baxter's fault. And maybe a little bit Regina's, but what are you gonna do? I mean, Guatemelan is Guatemelan's fault. So I had this like idea to do a big surprise for you that once you finished War of the Gods, I was going to have this extra book called The Finales, and it's going to take all of the characters that had novellas, and it's going to be their stories at the end of War of the Gods, and so it's going to wrap everyone's stories up so everyone gets a big ending. So it would be like 6 novellas in one book. So it would be Priscilla, it would be Baxter's actually getting his own now because he's so demanding. Priscilla, Baxter,
He's the son of a god.
He is the son of a god.
Jean Marie is gonna be way happy.
I don't mean that in nice ways, son of a god. Anyway, so as that was always the plan, but the problem was Baxter ended up kind of taking over. So he has this really big story to tell, and it's that combined with some stuff with Martin and then Alina and Priscilla. They're just all making some problems for me. I won't be able to get it out with War of the Gods. So what we're doing is we're going to launch LEDA. So Regina is next week, then LEDA, then War of the Gods, and then in November we're actually going to launch The Finales as its own book. I'm expecting it to be 80,000 words. It will be novel length. Yeah. So good. Oh my god. While I was at the stupid vet's office waiting to go inside and broiling hot, I was actually outlining every story because I'm just about ready to write all of them. It is so fun. I'm so excited. I can't tell you all the stories, but they're gonna be so good. So it's gonna be this big compilation. So everything in the network saga is gonna be wrapped up, but you'll just have to wait until November for it. And then we're gonna launch Martin in December, which I think makes Martin book 50. Right?
It does now.
Thank you. So Martin will be the 50th book, and all I'm going to say is that's just right. So
that's perfect.
Then Swordmaker is January, and then February is the Advocate, and then March starts our Sister Witches. This is final, right? Like, I'm not taking any more adjustments to my timeline. I don't care what the characters say. So they're so pushy.
Just
So
tell him to take a hike, Katie. Like
I
take a hike,
did,
guys.
and then Prana happened. So that's what I'm saying. I literally fought Prana. Like, I felt like a crazy person. I was sitting here and I'm like, no, you don't get your own story.
Well, he must have been a little bossy because I used Bax in my amulet name.
Oh, did
So
you?
So he is bossy.
He's so bossy. They're all so bossy. Baxter's story is pretty awesome, though, I have to say. I'm like, so excited.
Well, you know, he's an old man at 54. Come on. What can we say?
Young man.
Wait. I have a question.
Yeah.
How's the amulet thing gonna work? Are we gonna see all the names and get to vote for the two?
20.
We're gonna pick the top 20. And like we're gonna narrow it down because we've had a lot of entries. So
It would be fun to see the other entries.
Yeah.
we can do that. Like we can show them all, but I think Samantha and I are gonna kind of wade through them and pick like our top 20s that seem most pronounceable. For
That
the
was
audio
so fun.
purpose.
That was
Yeah,
so
I had a whole
fun.
bunch, and then I'm like, I have to pick 2.
I know a lot of people are doing like 10, and some people have emailed me and said, "Can you just include all of mine?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but like a lot of people want me to do that, and then we're gonna have like 1,000 amulet names." It's gonna be super intense.
I were kind of lame by the time I got around to him.
It's not as easy as you think, like,
Yeah.
to make work, but it's fun once you get into it. So anyway, so yeah, so that's I need to do something for that tonight. I need to remember to do that. Today's been bananas.
So how many days do you get to yourself without the kids?
Well, I said I'd go back on Wednesday, but I think I'm gonna delay till Thursday. Today didn't count. That's what I'm gonna say. It didn't count. My mom would like give me forever. She'd be like, "Just leave them with me. I got this." I think I'll head back to Idaho Wednesday or Thursday, like one of those days. It just depends on if I get War of the Gods finished where I want it. And I have to record LEDA while I'm here. That was the whole reason I came back, is to record LEDA. And ask me how much work I've done on LEDA today. None.
0.
Well,
Hey.
you might have been like a little terse if you had done it today.
So, Katie, I got an idea.
Oh, let's hear it.
So, find out what your post office gal's name is. Put her in your story, and then next time you have to kill somebody,
Oh, there it is. Yes.
That's it. That's it. That is what I'm doing. I'm actually doing a kill
For the
scene
book.
after this.
I second that motion.
I think I'm going to take all this angst at the post office and I'm going to direct it into the climax, because I'm writing I'm doing the second draft at the very end of War of the Gods tonight. Like, I have to finish it tonight. The whole plan was to work on it all day today. So I'm going to finish it tonight, and I'm just going to take all this and I'm going to name it the post office lady. And I'm going to feel better. Thank you, Garrett. Now we have to cast what's her name in my movies. Just to make all the fans.
Andie MacDowell.
Yes, Andie MacDowell. I'm gonna reach out to her somehow, and I'm gonna show her this video, and I'm gonna say, Andie, this is what was going on at the post office. So sorry. Anyway,
I just love her. I mean,
I love her too.
She's
I love her.
Oh, she's an
I love her.
amazing actress.
Yeah, she's an amazing person. You could just tell she's very bubbly. She's very bright and happy and fun. And I was being kind of lame, like not even looking at her, but answering her questions. And then it was just really good. Andie MacDowell wasn't there when the lady got all post officey on me, because
Yeah, she got
she
postal.
would not have been cast. I think she might make a great Stella.
Oh.
Like with her like hair, I think she'd make a really pretty Stella. Originally, I had Helen Mirren in my head for Stella.
No.
Andie MacDowell. I don't know.
Absolutely. Yep.
Helen
Yep.
Mirren. I love Helen. Anyway, I digress. So that's the updates. War of the Gods is on track. LEDA is on track. I will be recording it. And then Launch Team, which I think all of you are Launch Team, gets your books Friday. So,
And we have our first crossword
This Friday?
Friday.
this Friday.
Oh, this Friday? It's this Friday?
Yes.
Oh, I gotta start charging my moms for their classes so I can get
How-
paid.
How is that going to work? I'm not real confused about how that works.
What? The
How
crossword.
we're going to do, because,
But
you
the
know, I'm
crossword will be
hosting one
Friday
of them.
night, right? It's at 7, right?
Well,
Okay.
I think what it is, you'll get the crossword in Katie's email But if you want help on it, you can come in on the Zoom at night. Am I correct?
Oh, is that it? Okay.
So there's going to be an
and
email going out to the launch team tomorrow, I think. Just a reminder, like, hey, Regina launches on Friday. If you want your early copy, like, pre-order it now, so that, like, if you haven't pre-ordered Regina, you'll have your links to do it. And then Friday, whoever has pre-ordered will get the links delivered. And on Friday, there will also be an email that goes to everybody that gives the first crossword, and then there's a link in the email that says click here if you want the crosswords delivered to your email every day. So you can click that and then you'll get them delivered every day. They will also be posted in the Witchery every day, so that you could just go to that link. And then there are, in the emails that you get every day, it will say when there are meeting times for crosswords. So some days there are days and evenings, some days there's just
there's only 3-day ones. Yet there's the full 6 evenings.
For evenings, yeah. Evenings were just easier because we have more people in Australia and the US, so that it was mornings in Australia and evening in the US, though it's really late at night.
And working people,
So we were trying to get people who are in the UK at chance in an evening, because it's 5 in the evening when it's 10 here. So that was just, we were trying to work it best because we have such a global audience, and that's kind of how we did it. But the emails will say everything. So once you get the email that gives you the crossword, just hit that button. It will subscribe you so that you get the emails delivered, kind of like the quizzes. And then it will tell you when the meetings are that day, if there's 2 of them, if there's just 1, and it has my Zoom link as well. So it's all there.
And as for the hosting, we'll just have that chat, via the video on Facebook, so that we can talk about it. So you can ask any questions, okay?
Okay.
So wait, but the Zoom link is where everyone's meeting.
Yeah. I'm talking about today, like when we finish here, we'll chat about it, like the hosting people. Yeah.
Oh, okay. People who are hosting.
That's what Diane's talking about.
Okay, perfect. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, Lila's in charge of that. I don't know. I just know whatever on the emails. Lila's got there.
And Debbie's our protector for all of them, so she'll be the host when Katie's not there to be host. So as in bringing everyone in, to bring everyone in.
Yeah, so I'm gonna log in for all the meetings and then just make Debbie the host, because I can't stay on all of them. And then I'll make Debbie the host, and then I'll bow out, and Debbie's gonna kind of help, like let people in and out, answer questions, while the host is then like helping the crossword.
Yeah, and doing the crossword. So, and we'll all be together anyway, so it'll just be some fun. It's just fun. It's just shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Yes, shenanigans.
As long as it serves its purpose. It's for Jade and Dan and Richard, was what it was originally supposed to be for. Because I volunteered to read it to them.
That's if they decide to come. Yeah, if they're not too busy sightseeing.
Well, they're hosting the first.
Don't they have the first day?
They do. They have the first one. They're aware of that.
And we thought it would just be a fun way to get people to interact and have fun together, like outside the Coffee with Katie calls, so we can just kind of keep building up that Alcaran family feel in just different ways, so we can kind of participate together. So if it goes well and people like it, then we can do something similar for the LEDA launch, although Louise suggested like tests, like we had like tests or quizzes for the LEDA launch. So we're gonna have to start figuring that out. And then the War of the Gods will be quizzes again. I think we're gonna do 10 days of quizzes, so it'll be a lot of fun quizzes. So that one will be a big party. We're gonna have a big party on War of the Gods because it's the final novel. All right, shall we do a sneak peek?
Yes.
Yes, we shall.
Which do you want first, War of the Gods or LEDA?
Oh, whatever comes first.
LEDA does come first. That's true. Okay, let me find LEDA. I don't know where I am.
You're in Montana.
Missoula, Montana.
I thought you were in a skunk haze.
That's about
a cloud of skunk.
About where I'm at. Okay. We're not going to do the whole chapter. We're just going to do part of it. I have about 20 minutes left, so I can do 10 minutes after. So we'll do 10 minutes of LEDA and then 10 minutes of War of the Gods. But I'll try to get to the good stopping point that all of you hated me for on Friday.
Oh.
Okay.
No, we're excited, not hateful.
That's true. You weren't hateful. You were angry.
Just like the post.
Like right now.
Okay, wait. You have no proof.
Exasperated. That's the one.
There you go. There you go. Beautiful word. Beautiful.
I'd get it. Okay. All right. Chapter 1 of LEDA. A tower of envelopes balanced precariously high on Leda's desk. Organized according to urgency, it stood as a daunting reminder of how much work lay ahead of her. She eyed it. It had taken her 3 hours to open, organize, and stack the tower. Now, she'd tackle it one letter at a time. Unable to help herself, she ran back through the sorting process in her mind for the 3rd time. I need to fix this. She scratched out a separate note to follow. 35 letters plus X amount of time equals average duration per letter, she thought. This final sum will need to be updated in the overall process. She paused. Would it? The internal question rang for a moment in the silence of her mind. She was the only assistant to touch Scarlett's correspondence, a task she took very seriously. So why make a process for it? She knew exactly how to do this task. No other assistant wanted to be near it, and Scarlett couldn't trust just anyone with her schedule. LEDA released an exasperated breath. I must, she concluded. We do things in an organized, timely fashion. Again, she couldn't help herself. Processes required documentation because disasters happened all the time, particularly when one considered Bianca Monroe to be their best friend. If someone needed to step into her shoes, the process and systems manual would be essential. LEDA flipped through her leather-bound, preciously coddled task book until it stopped on list number 14, Process and System Creation. She noted a new task at the bottom bullet point. Finalize process for Scarlett's correspondences. Deadline, end of the 2nd week of this month. In the middle of the busy thoughts that followed, filtered an errant concern. Has Bianca woken up yet? Her gaze flittered to the clock. She scowled. 10:30 p.m. It had only been an hour since Derek had taken over the vigil of his daughter, who lay in bed without stirring. LEDA blinked her bloodshot eyes and turned back to the desk. Focus, LEDA. There's too much to do. Bianca is alive. The forest saved her. You can't change that now, but you can catch up on all the missed work so you can see her tomorrow morning. She'll be awake by then, certainly. Less than 2 days ago, Baxter showed up with Bianca draped in his arms, limp and ghastly gray. Burn marks scorched her mouth, nostrils, and the ends of her hair. She didn't breathe, didn't stir. For those awful moments that followed, LEDA's heart had taken a bath in the familiar acid of grief, the agony of uncertainty. Then LEDA Wood wound its way into the room and restored her life. Bianca breathed again, returned to unconsciousness, and slept. Breath steady, heart strong, prickles erupted across LEDA's eyes. She blinked the tears back. Now was not the time for emotions. Now was the time for focus. Reluctantly, thoughts of Bianca shuffled away into the background of her mind. LEDA drew in a deep breath and imagined how free she would feel when the envelope tower disappeared. Resolutely, she reached for the letter on top. The office door slammed open. LEDA startled with a squeak. Under Assistant Cheyenne barreled into the room, cheeks red, short chestnut hair wild around her face. She didn't appear to notice LEDA, just blazed a trail that would have taken out any witch in her path. I never! She cried. With a growl, she tossed an upholstered bag onto her desk. It slid across and dropped into the chair with a thunk. The door slammed shut, rattling in the doorframe. Cheyenne breezed past LEDA's desk as she harumphed. As she stalked by, her elbow grazed the envelope tower. Horror filled LEDA's face as the tottering pile shifted. With a gasp, she reached for the stack. It toppled. 35 envelopes scattered, sliding halfway across Scarlett's office in a wide splatter of parchment and ink. LEDA's mouth gaped. Cheyenne glanced back over her broad shoulder, blinked, and frowned. She gave a flippant wave. Oh, my bad. LEDA stared, wide-eyed. All those hours. All that work. Unbidden, tears filled her eyes. Grayson's betrayal, Aldred's appointment, Bianca's near death, Scarlett's frantic state of mind after being the target of a potential murder. The one organized thing in her world had just crumpled. All because of the most annoying underassistant to Grace Alcara. If Cheyenne would have obeyed the schedule, the tower of envelopes would never have fallen, nor would LEDA have wasted all that time. LEDA curled her fingers into fists, the fingernails slicing into her palms. Red filled her mind. She shot to her feet and jabbed a finger at the door. Out! Cheyenne straightened. Pardon me? Get out! This is not your personal office. Your scheduled work hours are in the afternoon, not 10:30 at night. Cheyenne's lips pursed with annoyance. She reached for her bag, yanked out a small, cracked hand mirror. She peered inside, smoothing back waves of hair undone from barreling into the office. I needed somewhere to escape, she chirped. Back off, LEDA. I have as much right to be here as you. I'm an assistant to the High Priestess. You are the under-assistant to the assistants, LEDA snapped. You do not have any right to Scarlet's direct office. Your workspace is across the hall with the other under-assistants. Now get out of here before I fire you, with all the authority that I have as Scarlet's only direct assistant. Honestly, LEDA, LEDA prowled around the desk, neck and ears on fire. Now! Cheyenne leapt in the air with a squeak. The mirror dropped to her desk with a crack. She scowled, turned to LEDA, then stopped short. Her eyes widened. Fine, she stammered. Fine, I'll go. She scuttled to the door, muttering under her breath. LEDA closed her eyes. She allowed her breath to flow in and out, long and sure, before she dared open her eyes again. The envelopes remained scattered on the floor. A simple collection spell brought them back to her hand, but they were all out of sorts. The order of priority was all wrong, and the rest had lost their alphabetized status. With a growl, she set them on the desk, folded her arms across her middle, stepped over to the window. A band of darkness was visible, with the reflection of the fire bright in the window panes. The aftermath of her fury bubbled away, leaving her limp and ragged in its wake. Tears sprang to her eyes again. Resolute, she blinked them back. Of its own accord, her left arm lifted to her chest to reach for the chain that hung there. The tips of her fingers slid down the tiny links to the silver ball at the end. Her memento. Only the size of her thumbnail. The trinket held a page from Camille's favorite romance novel inside, balled up as tight as LEDA could get it. Her fist wrapped around it, the way it had thousands of times in the past 4 years. It's a bad day, Camille, she murmured. A flash of memories lit up her mind. Camille's happy prattle, the endless chatter whenever she was near. Some days, LEDA couldn't stand how much Camille had to say. There were days she avoided her because the noise became overwhelming. Other days, she couldn't hear enough. LEDA processed those thoughts until one rose above all the others. I'd give anything to hear you talk too much. She recalled her brother, Nelson. He died during the Battle of Chatham Castle, just like Camille. A memento in honor of him would have invoked an eye roll, so she'd planted a tree in the Chatham Castle gardens instead. A plaque commemorated his name. Camille pulled her scattered motivations back together. Cogs clicked back into alignment, with buttons ready to press and reset. Her mind was like a working clock. All its functional parts moved together. I'm alive, she reminded herself, and Camille isn't, so I'll deal with whatever I have to. LEDA spun on her heel, intent upon restoring order again, and paused. Hiddleston stood in the doorway. His arms hung at his side, and his face appeared mellow and relaxed as he patiently waited. The realization that he'd been standing there startled her. Then she softened. She wasn't sure how she knew it, but he'd been attempting to give her space. Hiddleston? LEDA, may I come in? He gestured ahead of him. She nodded. Of course. It's as much your office as it is mine. Cheyenne just fled down the corridor. She's a bit upset. LEDA scoffed. Everything all right in here? He had a musing tone in his voice, a subtle question, an exploration. LEDA turned back to the new tower and didn't bother to meet his gaze. As the manager of under-assistants, Hiddleston worked directly beneath LEDA and coordinated the projects and works of the others, like Cheyenne. As a buffer, he was ideal. Everything's fine now that she's gone. A conversation with Cheyenne about physical boundaries is in order. She does not have access to this office at any time that she pleases, not for work nor an escape. Did she enter just now? She did, LEDA growled. I'll speak with her. Some of her bottled ire began to wane. It wouldn't reorganize the envelopes, but it helped knowing Hiddleston would shoulder that responsibility. Thank you. Hiddleston stood in front of her desk, yet a few paces back. It made her feel less crowded. She entertained the idea of diving into the work without acknowledging him, but decided against it at the last moment. Instead, she glanced up in silent question. He met her gaze. "How can I help?" he asked, then quietly added, "With anything." The mixture of compassion and concern in the words arrested her. Leda froze. Hiddleston had been there last night when Bianca arrived. Sheer happenstance placed them both there at the right moment. Hiddleston had gone for the apothecaries immediately. He'd returned with surprising speed. Yet it all felt as if it had gone so slowly. Too slowly. The eternities when Bianca wasn't breathing at all. The quiet, still look of her body. Just like Camille, she thought. Leda dropped her gaze. Bianca's with her father. She hasn't woken up yet, so I'm trying to tackle these letters in case she wakes up in the morning. I want to be there. Camille flashed through her mind again. Leda shook her attention free, pulled a letter off the top of the pile, and set it in front of her. With a spell, her favorite quill zipped to her hand, and the top of a nearby inkwell popped off. Hiddleston shifted. Is she recovering? We assume so. Derek promised to send a message if she improves. Merrick is taking a turn sitting with her after 2 a.m. When do you return? In the morning. Michelle and I will swap off during the day. Whoa! All right, we're going to stop there. It's a little bit farther, but we got 10 more minutes, and I want to do War of the Gods. That is the first part of chapter 1 with Hiddleston and Leda.
It's awesome. I see a few people wiping the tears.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's rough. It gets worse. Sorry.
Oh, no.
I think
it gets worse.
I think, like, maybe I've cried writing one of my books before. I can't remember if I have. I maybe have. I definitely cried, like, writing Leda. So good luck.
Well, that's encouraging.
It's hard to read when you're crying.
That Camille scene got me both times.
So good. Debbie, you got
That's why audio's great.
I know. So you can.
Well,
cry
audio is
and
going to
listen.
be tough too because all the feels will be there in the.
Hey, Katie, before you start the next, I have a quick question because I'm not going to be here on Friday.
Yeah.
I've been listening to not War of the Gods. Sorry.
No, how did you do that?
Forgotten Gods, and I'm picking up on things I didn't get in the book. But okay, can the gods obviously be at 2 places at the same time?
Oh.
Not necessarily. Like, they can't physically be here and there, but they can, like, cast their mind out, you know? Like, they could be aware of another place, but they could, like, physically somewhere else, kind of. But for the most part, they're kind of rooted where they are. Like,
I just meant because, Geo was supposed to be in the council with Baxter, but yet he was, doing this other stuff.
Galos was awfully quiet during the council.
Ah, that's true.
That's exactly why that comment was there. It's like Galos was quiet, like he always is. I'm like, because I knew Geo would be present while Baxter was at the council, so Galos had to slip away and then come back.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
Yes, but great question. That question will come to play in War of the Gods. So it's funny you asked that because I was trying to decide that the other day. I'm like, can they? All right. Go ahead, Terry.
I didn't realize that Leda was so OCD. I mean,
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Leda is definitely OCD. Oh my
I
God.
knew that she, there's parts of her that's that way, but I mean, what you just read, that's serious OCD.
I mean, I wouldn't.
Oh, come on! No, it's not. I totally relate.
I was say, I think she's just a very organized person and she feels more in control when she's organized. I don't know that I would go as far to say like actual OCD because like I have friends that have that diagnosis and it's pretty intense. Leda is more just like she doesn't want to deal with her emotions and so she controls her environment through organization and that's going to fall apart.
Okay.
Because it does. But I will say Samantha, my VA, is my Leda, right? So when I think about Leda, I actually pattern her after Samantha. And Sam knows this because Leda's like her favorite. So I said to Sam, I was like, it's really important when you read this book like you help me breathe life into it, like make me like really bring LEDA off the page because so many people are excited about reading LEDA. And these are her responses after I read it. I just said, like, let me know exactly what you think of LEDA. So I can't say all these because there will be spoilers. She said, in LEDA, you gave us another side of LEDA that, for people who do not love her as I do, will humanize her and make her more connectable. She becomes less of the awkward, driven, intelligent sidekick and more of her own person. That was her third point. The fourth point was, it made me cry in ways I was not expecting. So there's that. And number 5 was, in my humble opinion, you hit the cover off the ball here.
Good.
So good. Sam is really great at like boosting my confidence, but she doesn't do it like, she's really honest with me, right? So when Sam loves a book, there's a reason to love a book. So I'm excited for you guys to read it. But War of the Gods. All right, we're gonna do just part of chapter 1 for War of the Gods. This is the one where I stopped at a very unfortunate point. All right, chapter 1. The edges of the forest called for me. They harm the children. I stood on a branch as wide as my cottage and peered into a bright upper canopy in question. Children? What children? Thick moss lay under my feet in an emerald carpet, washed with shoots of electric green. Curlicue vines supported a rainbow of differently colored flowers, the tiny buds small as pebbles. The vine grew, looped around my ankle. Yeah. The voice I'd heard only moments before called again, more insistent. They harm the children. My heart leapt back to life. LEDA Wood rarely spoke with a single determined voice. Hundreds or thousands of trees whispered often with individual voices, looped together, perfectly synced. Not a sound lay in the forest. Who? I asked. The undesirable. My blood thickened. Demigods? A low, keen answered. Before I could ask where, magic surged into my feet and shoved me into pressure. Darkness. A transportation spell. A blink later, I stood in a different part of the forest, on an equally high branch that overlooked rolling plains ahead, the boundary of LEDA Wood. A dirt road cut through the waist-high grasses, 100 paces away. This had to be the edge of the LEDA Wood near the east. I'd been here before, when working with Martin as his assistant years ago. I ducked. A line of children stood on the dirt road, squinting against bright sunlight. Several cried. Others glared in stony silence. They stood with their hands behind their back. I couldn't confirm, but imagined they must be tied behind them. Mongrel dogs, I muttered. 4 adults, demigods by their general larger-than-life presence, positioned themselves in different angles around the children, a clear, tactical formation meant to keep them together. Beyond them stood a schoolhouse. The door was flung open, bouncing on loose hinges. No teacher? I slipped Vivite from her sheath, comforted by the bright blue burn of her blade. The volare slid free of the round case that carried it on my back, hovering expectantly behind me. Eager magic flowed from both of them. I canvassed the scene one last time, stepped onto the volare, and sank to the earth. Once I stepped free, I crouched behind a trunk. Unnecessary. The demigods weren't paying attention here. They couldn't detect goddess magic either, so I cast an invisibility incantation for good measure. Vivite disappeared as well. The volare followed behind, shrank until it spanned the length of my legs, then lowered to the forest floor. It didn't need implicit direction. The magic allowed it to know my intent and anticipate what I would do. As I crept out of LEDA Wood, the grasses parted. Bushes crawled out of the way. I advanced in silence. A male voice became more apparent as I approached. You are all terrible, terrible children. A spry demigod with flaxen hair on top of a too large head came into view. His skinny neck, thin arms, gave him a gaunt appearance, but he wasn't slight around the belly. He waved a hand through the air. His pompous tone reminded me of Aldred. Clearly, this demigod liked to hear himself talk. Light hairs sprouted from a split in his shirt, all the way down his collarbone, and led my gaze right to an amulet. A gaudy oval, burnt orange, rimmed with cherry-colored edges. Ignis. But that couldn't be right. Witches have no redeeming qualities. None at all. Fortunately, we are here to help you with that. A bloodied body lay on the ground, unconscious if the lack of movement meant anything. Female. Blood stained her nose and chin. The 2 young children stood nearest her. She'd attempted to protect them, no doubt. Both trembled. One cried quietly, lips puckered into a frown. Tears streaked the cheeks of the other. Two of the older boys, probably 12, stared at the demigods with locked jaws, livid expressions. That anger might help later. From a distance of 30 paces back, I circled the group, studying the demigods. Two of the four gazed into the forest and down the road every 10 to 15 seconds. The other one focused on the children as the wiry demigod extrapolated more dribble. Bound to incantations, he cried, a hand to his forehead. How do you survive with so much to learn and memorize? I rolled my eyes at the dramatics. Vavit's fire smoldered with greater heat as I tightened my grip to reassess. These demigods had rounded up 13 children, tied their hands, stood them in a circle side to side, and for what? Demigods hadn't been seen in Alcara since the failed uprising over 2 months ago. Certainly not since I returned from Malaysia, half dead, 6 weeks ago. I ground my teeth together at the thought. Was I ready to battle demigods after almost dying? Had I recovered my full strength? Probably not. Would that stop me? Never. A smaller demigod lingered behind the gesticulating one, a woman with 4 light braids and a slightly crooked nose. She bounced on her heels, head tilted from side to side in clear agitation. Demigods were naturally stronger than witches, with or without amulets. Only one visible amulet tilted the odds slightly toward my favor, but still vastly out of balance in the grand picture. 4 demigods, 13 children, 1 witch. I'd faced worse.
Evil laugh, evil laugh.
That is so cool.
That's the beginning. So there you have it. Debbie, to answer your question, the High Priestess audiobook will probably come out in September or October. It's one of them. I have to record it first. I just finished short stories from Miss Mabel's last night. I'm doing LEDA this week, and when I get back from Idaho, I start writing to the High Priestess. So it's my Final Fantasy. All right, you guys, those are your sneak peeks. What do you think?
Great.
Woo!
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. War of the Gods starts with a bang and does not stop. It does not stop. It's pretty awesome. You guys are going to like it. But thank you for coming tonight. I missed you all so much. It was so fun to see you again. Yay for no more post office for me and Andie for a while. So let's hope more of that for all of you.
No more post
Well, I
office
do have
for
to
you.
go back tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Maybe you'll get your money back.
Yeah, I hope so. Or star sighting would be, it would be okay, but
Andie
he's going to be
MacDowell,
here in Guatemala.
Yeah.
Maybe in the
you'll
post
see Chris
office.
Hemsworth. Maybe you'll see Chris Hemsworth.
Ooh.
As you're getting your money back
He's my
to your
favorite.
parents.
He's my favorite.
They had like this big, huge TV with, I don't know, it was some sort of TV novela, but it was, but it wasn't a Mexican. It was an Asian thing, and they all kept just shooting at each other, and bah, 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 bah. I was like, can you please, change in something nicer? Because I'm here with like 2 little kids and all these bah, 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 bah. It's like, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a USB, put a lot of pretty pictures of pretty guys, put it on the thingy on the TV, and ask the lady to switch the channel. Then I will get my Hemsworth, all my Chris's,
All your
my Chris Pratt, my Captain America, my Chris Pine.
Oh, I should do a Chris Pine character.
Oh yeah.
I will think on
Now,
that.
let's just hope that Carol and Garrett don't have post office shenanigans.
Yes, no more cursed packages, okay?
Well, like I said earlier, the post office sent me a survey to fill out. They're not going to like that survey response.
I want one. I wonder if there's like.
Did all that get taken care of, Kim?
You might say that.
This says, tell us about your.
That doesn't sound good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do that one.
I would
Yeah,
tell
it's worth it.
All right.
I'm lucky because I've got 2 of the guys down there know me now. And it's like, I wait for one of them because they always smile when they see me. It's like, oh, yep, come on down.
I know. I wish I'd had options.
No,
Well, now that when I get my visa, I'm gonna go up there to Montana. I'm gonna start working at the post office.
Oh my gosh, Andie, when you're in the US, let me know. We can figure out a way to meet because I'm gonna fly to the East Coast to see family sometime in the winter. So maybe I'll just scoot it up.
Well, I've been because when we got married, I think I told you guys this the last time. My husband said, I asked him, when are you gonna bring me back to Disney? Because we went to Disney for our honeymoon. And he was like, in 10 years, I'll bring you back in 10 years. I'm like, 10 years? It's like, Bleh. And then this year is our 10th anniversary. So he owes me a Disney trip. and I was today like, you know what? In 1 month, we have the appointment for the visas. So that means that by October, we're going to have the visa. So you have like 2 months to start saving up or whatever. See where you get the money from because I want my Disney. He's like, I don't know.
Like,
You can't back out.
A divorce lawyer.
Yeah. So you cannot back out now. I will take a rain check, but you are taking me to Disney in the next 6 months.
You hold strong. You hold strong. All right, I'm going to go work on War of the Gods while I have no children. But it was so fun to see you all, and we'll talk on Friday when you guys have Regina and crosswords.
Thanks, Katie. I won't be here on Friday, so everybody have a good weekend.
So we'll see you Monday.
Good weekend.
I'll be working too.
Yeah, well, I have
a good one, guys.
Another funeral.
Oh, no.
Rough go over there.
Well, a friend of mine, her husband, 47, didn't feel good and decided he needed to go to the ER, and he collapsed when he got in there and
with a heart attack.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, right there, they couldn't do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a yes or a no on every day, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I just remember that I was a cardiac nurse, like you could do everything and it didn't always.
I mean, they worked on him even a little longer just because he worked at the hospital. And so, but
yeah.
Yeah. Apparently it was his time, I guess.
Not that that's much comfort.
Yeah. When my mother died.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. The doctors were at the hospital where the ambulance is at, and
you're going to do good things.
They're the ones that call the ambulance crew out, and the 2 doctors, 2 of the nurses, plus the ambulance crew, all got to our house and worked on my mother for an hour and a half, and never ever got her going, which is understandable if you ever saw her chest X-ray. So she had congestive heart failure to the point of put a finger on either side of her rib cage, and that's the size of her heart.
Holy cow!
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
So
yeah.
Well, Kim, my daughter knows the convenience store lady quite